am Mrs. Kavita Upadhyay, your English teacher. I welcome all the students of class 10 to today's English class. The unit that we are studying is composition, and this is part 3. In this unit, we are going to deal with short composition and connectors. We have already learned in the previous 2 parts the meaning and types of composition, the writing process CODER coder, that is very important. C means collect your ideas, O means organize the ideas, D means prepare the rough draft, and E means edit the draft. R means revise it and prepare the final draft. Some connectors and the describing words that you learned in the last 2 lessons. Attempting controlled composition. In the first part, we attempted controlled composition, and in the second, we wrote paragraph. Now, objectives of today's lesson are to add some more connectors. In the first part, we learned some connectors, and in this part also, we are going to learn some more connectors to learners' vocabulary to help them learn the use of passive voice in writing. Where to use passive voice, that also we will deal with. To apply writing process learnt in previous lesson in writing short composition. You have learnt writing process CODER. You have also applied it in writing paragraphs, and today we will be writing short composition using that process. The first part that we are going to deal with is vocabulary. Let us see what is in vocabulary for us today. Connectors used for sequencing. While narrating any event, any incident, you need to sequence the events. For sequencing, we use some connectors, and those connectors are given to you here. Examples of beginning phrase include. Beginning phrases means when you start narrating an incident. How to begin it? To begin with. This is one phrase that can be used. To begin with, I started my education in 1989. This is the first thing that you are mentioning in narration. First of all, I opened the cupboard. The first thing that I did. This is beginning of a narration. Remember that. To start off with, we decided that our destination was New York. Initially, I thought it was a bad idea. Initially means in the beginning. So to begin with, first of all, to start off with, initially, these are the words and phrases that we use to begin a narration. These are beginning phrases and words. Examples of continuing phrases in a story. Once you have begun the narration, you have to continue it. You have to tell the events that happened chronologically. To go on with that, we use some phrases to maintain the continuity. Then I started to get worried. Something happened, and then I started to get worried. After that, we knew that there would be no problem. After that, after some event, some arrangement, we thought there would be no problem. Next, again continue. Next, we decided on our strategy. As soon as we arrived, we unpacked our bags. This is one event happening just after the other. We were sure everything was ready, but then we discovered some unexpected problems. But then, this is used for contrasting. Something was expected, but something unexpected happened. So contrast and then. Immediately, I telephoned my friend. Immediately, something happened, and just after that, I telephoned my friend. So these are the words and phrases that with the help of which we can continue our story. Then, after that, next, as soon as, but then, and immediately. Expressions to add suspense to your story. Children, all of you love suspense and surprises. And in the story also, if there is some surprise element or some suspense, that would be much better. So to add the suspense element, you can use suddenly or unexpectedly. Suddenly I heard a knock on the door. This is surprise element. Then that very morning, the giant returned unexpectedly. The giant was not expected to return that morning. So they made some arrangement to run away. But unexpectedly, the giant returned. This is surprise or suspense. Examples of ending words in a story. If you wish to end the story, you have started the story, you continued the story, you added some element of surprise and suspense, then you have to end the story. Which words and phrases will you use for that? Finally, I flew to London for my meeting. Finally. Finally means in the end. In the end, he decided to tell the truth. After all the events that happened, he decided to tell the truth in the end. Eventually, we became tired and returned home. Eventually means after all the events happened, we decided to return home because we were tired. So the words with which you can end the story is finally, in the end, eventually. These are words and phrases which can be used as connectors to end the story. For events occurring at the same time. If two events are occurring at the same time, the words and phrases that you can use are, I fell asleep while I was driving. While I was driving. I was driving, this long action was happening, and in the middle somewhere I fell asleep. So two actions happened at the same time. We use while. Just as the teacher entered the class, we stopped the game. The teacher entering the class and our stopping the game. This happens in such a way that stopping the game follows the entering of teacher so closely that it seems that both are happening at the same time. Just as he saw beautiful scenery during his trip. During his trip means while he was undertaking that trip. During. While, just as, and during. These words and phrases can be used to tell about events occurring at the same time. So we have learned some connectors which can be used to tell a story and make it interesting and coherent. Let us check our progress. Now we have learned connectors. Let us see how much we have been successful in that. Fill in the blanks with suitable connectors. Here is an exercise for you. My friend and I visited Goa last summer. And that visit is going to be described here in the form of a short story, very short story. My friend and I visited Goa last summer, first blank. We flew from New Delhi to Goa in the first class. You have your notebook and pen ready. Write down the phrase or the word which you think should fill this blank. I'll give you a hint. This is the beginning of narration. You learned the phrases and word that could continue, that could begin the story. Use any of them. We flew from New Delhi to Goa in the first class. It was fantastic. Second blank is there. Then we arrived in Goa. We went to the hotel and took a long nap. This is continuing the story. You learned some words and phrases, some connectors to continue the story. Use the suitable one here. Third is, dash, we went out to find a great restaurant for dinner. This is again continuing the narration. You have written your answer. Let us see. Let us check the answers. Multiple answers are possible for some of the blanks. This is important. Multiple answers are possible means in the first blank, you can write first of all, you can write initially, or you can write to begin with. Any of these is correct. Because we are beginning the narration, we can say initially we flew to Delhi, from New Delhi to Goa, or you can say first of all, we flew from New Delhi to Goa, or we can say to begin with, we flew from New Delhi to Goa. Second is, dash, we arrived in Goa, we went to the hotel and took a long nap. As soon as or when. When we arrived Goa, we went to hotel. This is for telling the time. After arriving at Goa, we went to the hotel and took a long nap, or as soon as we arrived. Just as we arrived Goa, we went to the hotel and took a long nap. Third blank, we went out to find a great restaurant for dinner. For continuing the story, we can use then, after that, or next. Any of these is correct. Let us come to the next part of the story. Fourth blank, dash, a scooter appeared out of nowhere and almost hit me. This is something, element of surprise. We have learned two words for that, to add element of surprise in the story. This is surprising. A scooter appeared from nowhere and almost hit me. The rest of the trip had no surprises. Fifth blank is here, and then we continue. We began to explore Goa. Sixth blank. The afternoons, we visited beaches and churches. At night, we wandered the streets. Dash, we caught our flight back to New Delhi. We were happy and ready to begin our work again. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, and 4 blanks for you. Whichever word you think is suitable, whichever word or phrase, whichever connector is suitable in your view, you can write that. Let us check the answer now. Fourth is suddenly or unexpectedly, because here element of surprise is added. A scooter appeared out of nowhere and almost hit me. Suddenly or unexpectedly. In the fifth blank we see, dash, we began to explore Goa. This is continuing the narration. Then, after that, or next. Any of these can be used. We began to explore Goa. Sixth blank, the afternoons we visited beaches and churches. This is giving the duration of our visit to beaches and churches. For duration, we will write during. And this seventh blank, it is here to end the story. When you want to end the narration, you use finally, in the end, or eventually. Any of these is correct. I hope you have understood the use of these connectors well now. Now let us proceed. Now children, we are going to narrate a story, A Wonderful Day. A wonderful day, it may be about your life, or you may imagine that you are somebody else, and you have experienced as that person a wonderful day. You can write even about that. So first you have to think, who are you? Whether you are yourself or someone else. Then where are you? The place where this wonderful day happened. This has to be thought of. Then who is or are with you? Who are the people with you, or who is the person accompanying you at that time? That you have to imagine or think. When did it happen? The time of happening. This should be clear. Then what have you and others done to make it a wonderful day? If it was a wonderful day, you must have had some wonderful experience. What that wonderful experience was? Was it because of your achievement only, or was it because others made it wonderful for you? Use sequencing words and phrases you have learned. You have already learned some sequencing words and phrases, the words and phrases which are used to begin a narration, to continue the narration, to conclude the narration, to add an element of surprise, and to tell about two events happening at the same time. These words and phrases you have already learned. You should use them in this narration. You can conclude with a wish or a sigh or anything of your choice. You could say that I wish that I could have that day again in my life, or you could sigh, that I'm never going to experience that day again in my life, or you can use any other thing of your choice. Now here are the notes which I have prepared. These are my notes. This is the narration. These are the notes for the narration of A Wonderful Day which happened in my life. You can think for yourselves. You can write about a wonderful day that you had in your life. Okay? This is just an example. I, a girl of 9, at home. I am who I am. I am a girl of 9. I am at home with family and friends. When did it happen? It was my birthday. And what things happened? a surprise party, something surprising happening, and surprises are the things children like most. Parents invited my grandparents, friends, family members, sister took me. Now, how the element of surprise was added? Sister took me out for shopping. Brothers secretly decorated the house, and brother secretly decorated the house. You can even describe the decoration that he did. A lovely cake. I returned, when I returned with my sister from shopping, I returned, all cheered and wished. They all came and cheered and wished, and that was a very pleasant surprise for me. Lots of gifts and blessings. Grandparents gifted a bicycle. I thanked them all. These are the notes. With the help of these notes, or even better, if you prepare your own notes and write about a wonderful day that you have had in your life. Okay? I hope you will do this and follow CODER. First, collect your ideas, then organize your ideas. These are organized ideas. Organize your idea, then prepare the first draft, and very important is to edit it, find out mistakes, find out the ways to improve it, and then revise it and prepare the final draft. Now, use of active and passive voice. Students, you should be quite careful while using active voice or passive voice in a sentence. Passive voice, when you learn it, you should also know where to use it. Now, there are two sentences written in passive voice. Their leader was shot dead. Was shot, this is in passive voice. Finally, the patient was treated. Was treated. This verb is also in passive voice. But why is it said to be in passive voice? Because the person who is performing the action of shooting or the action of treating the patient is not even given here. It is not given any importance. The person who is performing the action denoted by verb is not important, but the person or the thing which is affected by the verb is more important. The patient is more important who got treated, and the leader is very, very important. That is why the person who killed him is not given any importance. It was the leader who was affected by the action of shooting, which is given more importance. So, you must first decide whether the performer of the action is important or the thing or the person who is affected is more important. Then decide on using active or passive voice. Passive voice must be used when the thing or person acted upon is more important than the doer of the action, or the doer of the action is vague and indefinite. Vague or indefinite means it is not clear who performed the action or it is not specified. Like my pen was stolen. Who stole it? I am not even mentioning it. Okay? It is vague. Example of use of passive voice. How to make tea. If a person asks you how to make tea, that means he is interested in the process. What is done and to what things it is done. Not who does it. That means the person who is performing the action is not important, but the thing that is done is important. Okay? In this case, we are going to use passive voice. A cup of water is put on a stove to boil. When it starts boiling, a teaspoon of sugar is added to it along with a teaspoon of tea leaves. It is allowed to boil for a few seconds, and then half a cup of hot milk is added to it. Then it is strained and poured into cup. You will see all the verbs which we have used are in passive voice. Is put, is added, is allowed, is added, is strained and poured. All these are in passive voice because the person is more interested in the process, not in the person who performed it. Got it? Now children, we are going to write a short composition describing a scene at the railway platform. Children, this is going to be very interesting for you because you all have, I hope, the experience of visiting a railway platform. You have to describe that experience. You have to think when you went there, why you went there, and with whom you went there. When, why, and with whom. When you are describing a visit to some place, this is narrative. You are narrating the incident of visiting the railway platform. But at the same time, this piece of writing is going to be descriptive. Why? Because we are describing the scene there. And when you are describing the scene, when you are describing an experience at some place, you have to describe what you feel through your five senses. In this case, we are going to describe the scene, that means what we see, and the sounds, that means what we hear. The scene, in the scene we will include trains, passengers, coolies, vendors, newspaper boys, and whatever else you can think of. And then we will describe sounds and activities going on around you. Then you have to conclude with your leaving the platform and sum up your experience there. What you felt at the railway platform, that you are going to write. A scene at the railway platform. When? With whom? Why? Yesterday with my uncle to see him off. And platform ticket. Examiners like such details. Because you are going there on the platform to see off uncle, that means you must buy a platform ticket. Don't forget to mention it. Trains arrive and leave. These are the scenes that you see there. Passengers jostling. Jostling means pushing against each other. Elbowing, pushing with elbow. Vendors, newspaper boys, tea sellers, shouting their wares, running, coolies carrying luggage. You can describe coolie. How wonderful it is to watch a coolie carrying luggage. How a person can have such a strength to carry bag over bag on head and 2 or more bags on shoulder also. Guard carrying flags. Noisy place, now sounds. Noisy place, whistles, shouts, babies crying, announcements going on, and trains coming and going, the noise of the trains also. Now, to finish the narration, we will say uncle's train arrived, difficulties faced by uncle in boarding the train, uncle boarded, train flagged off, and I returned. This is how you will describe a scene at the railway platform. Now, next we have to see what we have learned today. Some connectors and their usage. Use of active and passive voice. We learned the use of passive voice, where to use passive voice and why. Because the person who is performing the action is not so important as the thing done or to whom it is done. Writing short composition. We learned that too. Now here is an assignment for you. It is very interesting. You have to describe, write about the person of your choice. This person can be anybody you know. Your mother, your father, your neighbor, your teacher, your friend, anybody. Choose a person, then write. Start writing with introduction. Who that person is. Her name, qualification, whatever you feel like, you can write an introduction. Then physical appearance. Physical appearance, you learned describing words in the last chapter, last lesson. You can use those words and describe physical appearance of the person. Then habits. What she does or what he does. Usually, those are habits. Then you have to tell the profession. Then good qualities that you like. If it is the person you like, then there must be some good qualities that you like. You have to discuss them in detail. And while giving these details, you must give concrete examples and anecdotes. You must give some instances from the life, from your experience with that person that will establish the fact, that will prove the fact that this person has these good qualities. Achievements. Achievements of the person in life or in profession, any field. Simple present is to be used. If the person is living, you will write it in simple present tense, or use active and passive voice wherever it is needed. Okay? Now, here is one more assignment for you. You have to write about use of mobile phones. Okay? Introduction. You must have seen mobile phone. They are small, they are handy. Handy means easy to handle, easy to carry. You can carry it anywhere. Cheap and quick means of communication. Means of communication means you can contact with people, you can talk with people, you can chat with people with the help of this device, which is cheap and quick means of communication. You just type a message, send, and it is done. It is received there. It is cheap. It is available online, offline. You can mention these things also, that it is available on easy EMI. So everybody nowadays can be seen carrying mobile phone. Facility of internet, getting any information. Now, if you have facility of internet in mobile phone, what do you get? You can get information, any kind of information. You can just Google it. Money transfer can be done. Purchase of train tickets, etc. Etc. means you can add information. Wastage of money and time. Though there are so many advantages of having a mobile phone and having an internet connection, still people say it is wastage of money and time. Why do they say so? Because if you are using it excessively, you become addicted to it. It is addictive in nature. Addictive means more you use it, the more you want to use it. So children become addictive. They lose their health, they lose money, and they lose time by using mobile phone excessively. Then you will write conclusion. To conclude, what can you say? Mobile has both good and bad qualities, and you can use the phrase, mobile is a good servant but a bad master. If you are using it judiciously, wisely, it is a servant. It is serving as a servant. But if you become addicted to it, it will become a master, and it will result in waste of money, time, and even health.